Hey there, welcome to Funlearn Talks, the podcast where we break down business, technology, and history into stories that sparks your mind and makes you smarter. I'm Adi, and we explore ideas that shape the world, from empires and entrepreneurs to code and culture. If you love connecting dots and asking why things are the way they are, you're in the right place. Let's get started with today's story.
Now, let's focus on the Constitution of 1795. In this document, you can see the cautious middle path the French were trying to tread. They reduced the electorate through property qualifications, effectively silencing many voices. The legislature was split into two chambers, a structure intended to provide balance, and the executive power that was placed in the hands of a five-man directory, aimed at administering the French Republic with a stable hand. In theory, it sounds orderly, right? But in practice, the balance was precarious. The Directory's power was anything but stable, and with annual elections stirring the political pot, the setup was rife with instability. And here's where things take a turn. While the political arena was a seesaw of power shifts, France's military was gaining a formidable reputation under the guidance of leaders like Carnot and a brash young general, Napoleon Bonaparte. Let's pause for a second and dive into the military exploits that reshaped Europe. The campaigns from 1795 onwards were nothing short of dramatic. The French forces retook the Low Countries by early 1795 and scored victories across the Rhineland, northern Italy, and Spain. With the Treaty of Basel, they even forced Prussia and Spain into peace, consolidating control over the Rhine's left bank. But it was Bonaparte, that young general, who truly captivated the European stage. From the spring of 1796 to October 1797, his northern Italian campaign against Austria and Sardinia was a showcase of military audacity and strategic brilliance. The Treaty of Campo Formio, which capped this campaign, was a testament to French might securing French control over Belgium, the Rhine's left bank, and setting up puppet republics across Italy. Interesting, right? But let's keep going, because the drama was far from over. Come 1798. The Second Coalition saw Britain, Russia, and Austria initially triumphing over French forces. However, the coalition wasn't built to last. Russia exited over disputes with Britain, dramatically collapsing the alliance. When Bonaparte and General Moreau took the battlefield again, they crushed Austria at Marengo and Hohenlinden in 1800, leading to the Treaty of Luneville in 1801. This treaty further solidified French gains and expanded their territory. Back in France, though, the political landscape was tumultuous. The Thermidorian regime had started on a hopeful note, releasing 80,000 suspects and reversing the Jacobin terror. Yet, the economy was teetering. The currency, the assignat, collapsed in 1796 amid rising famine threats. The political arena was marred with uprisings and revolts. May 1795 saw the fierce sans-culotte insurrection quashed by the army. By October, a royalist revolt met its end under Bonaparte's cannons in what's famously known as the Whiff of Grapeshot. With each uprising, the fabric of the Directory's rule stretched thinner, leading to drastic actions like the Coup de Fructidor in September 1797, where key figures including Carnot were ousted in an attempt to stomp out monarchist ambitions. This brings us to a pivotal moment. The Coup de Brumaire of 1799. Sensing a possible Jacobin resurgence, the Directory was desperate. They needed a military titan to wield as a weapon against internal chaos, seeking to install a pliable strongman at the helm. Enter, once more, Napoleon Bonaparte. Drawn back from military campaigns to the messy world of politics, Bonaparte would soon step into a role that edged France closer to the empire than the Republic. It was a move that would redefine not just French, but global history, ushering in an era marked by conquests, empire building, and an enduring legacy shaped by one man's insatiable ambition. This narrative of revolution, power struggles, military exploits, and personal ambition reveals the intensity of a nation forging its path through fire. And through it all, it was the blend of military prowess and political maneuvering that steered the course of French and European history. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in history, it's important to recognize the complexity of the events that unfolded around Napoleon Bonaparte, leading up to November 1799. Bonaparte, recently returned from Egypt and bolstered by strategic partners, leveraged the prevailing chaos as an opportunity to assert control, dissolve the legislative councils, and along with Sieyès and Rodriducos, assume emergency powers. This marked a significant turning point, not only for France, but for the very ideals of the revolution itself. The declaration by the consuls that the revolution is established upon the principles which began it, it is ended, serves as a profound assertion that warrants a deeper examination. This statement, ostensibly concluding the upheaval, was, in reality, the beginning of another complex chapter in French history. The claim of finality was paradoxical, considering the substantial challenges that lay ahead. Firstly, Napoleon's personality and ambitions played a critical role. Described by Sieyès as a man who knows everything, wants everything, and can do anything, Napoleon's insatiable drive for power was indelibly tied to his military exploits. Here's something concrete to consider. The Peace of Amiens in 1802, which temporarily halted conflict with Britain, exemplifies how his military strategies were crucial yet unsustainable pivots on which his power balanced. This pause in fighting, while providing a brief respite, was merely the eye of the storm, an unsettling precursor to further confrontation. Secondly, the aftermath of the revolution itself raises questions about its achievements and their impacts. While the revolution undoubtedly marked a momentous upheaval aimed at dismantling old hierarchies and instituting egalitarian principles, its immediate outcomes were more dismantling than constructive. The societal and governmental vacuums that followed highlighted a critical juncture, where the intentions of revolutionary ideals met the harsh realities of their practical implementation. The institutions of New France were still in embryonic stages, needing nurturing, development, and direction. As we wrap up this chapter, it's a reminder that the end of the revolution as declared was not truly an end, but an entry into a period of reconfiguration and realignment. The fabric of French society, along with its political and administrative structures, was undergoing a profound transformation. This transformation was neither smooth nor predictable, but filled with a dynamism that would shape the contours of the modern state. So, what can we take away from all this? The journey of the French Revolution, and its so-called conclusion with Napoleon's rise, serves as a vivid illustration of how historical events often refuse to be neatly categorized or predicted. The declaration that it is ended was perhaps more an expression of hope than an assertion of fact. It echoed the desperate desire for stability and order, yet it also opened a narrative filled with ambition, conflict, and the quest for power. The reflections on this period prompt us to think about the nature of revolutions in general. They challenge us to consider how the fires of such sweeping changes can forge new societal structures, but also how they can consume the very ideals they were meant to uphold. As you ponder these thoughts, consider the intricate dance between power and principle, and the timeless relevance of these themes in our understanding of history and its impact on the present. Napoleon's story is a testament to the complexities of leadership and the unpredictable waves of historical change. His rise from a military leader to a figure wielding considerable political power underscores the nuanced interplay between individual ambition and broader societal transformations. In many ways, his journey encapsulates the eternal human quest for stability, recognition, and control amidst the swirling tides of chaos and ambition. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of a truly transformative period in history. As you move forward, carry with you the lessons learned from the past, the understanding of complexity in human endeavors, and the recognition of the profound impacts that historical shifts can have on the trajectory of nations and societies. That's it for today's episode on Fun Learn Talks, where stories from business, technology, and history keep your curiosity alive. If you enjoyed the journey, make sure to follow, rate, or share it with a fellow curious mind. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment or connect with us online. I'm Adi, and I'll catch you next time, right here on Fun Learn Talks. Until then, keep learning, keep wondering.